Recording now.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is, Ali, do you want to start with intro, starting yourself, and then
Yeah, definitely. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ali Ivy. I'm the career specialist and liaison to College Environmental Design, and I'm here to support students and their career goals, as well as alumni. So we have this partnership with Manny and alumni chapter to support students as well as alumni, connect them to resources. So for today's session, we have Manny. He is the URP alumni chapter president, really active, really involved in the college and ENV. So thank you so much, Manny, for joining us today. He has a lot of great information to share about how to use LinkedIn.
All right. Hi, everyone. As stated, I'm Manny. I'm the planning manager for the city of Azusa. I am also the URP alumni chapter president. So since we do have a small intimate group, I do kind of just want to get an idea, an intro from everyone. Quick little blurb. If you're a student, if so, what year, or if not, an alumni. So Karen, how about you start us off?
Oh, I'm way on the other side. I'm graduated in 1995, and I'm doing a career reentry, and I'm working with a career networking center. So I just wanted to kind of get back in touch with planning folks, and it's there's not really a lot of planning jobs if you go onto the AIA, and so I just wanted to kind of see what everybody's doing, and the jobs that I have had have been kind of more planning adjacent. So.
Sounds good. Who else would like to go next? How about you, Heriberto, since you unmuted yourself?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, well, I am an alumni. I graduated in 2019. I am actually currently was a student actually at the Cal Poly Pomona Urban Regional Planning, and I'm just wanting to get some information, as far as like I'm getting some of these interviews, but I like to just fresh up on my my LinkedIn profile. I have added a couple things in there, kind of showcase my talent. Other than that, that's pretty much I can tell.
All right, sounds good. Gina, do you want to be next?
Sure, Manny, thank you. I'm Gina Natoli. I work for the Los Angeles County Department of Regional Planning. I'm a 2001 or 2 alumni from the graduate program. It's so long ago, I don't remember. And I've been peripherally on LinkedIn, but I want to get more involved in LinkedIn and make sure that I'm represented better. I serve as a hearing officer for the county now, and I'm finding a lot of people are looking me up. So I want to make sure that they're getting the right information on me.
Good to hear. Sabah, do you want to go next?
Yes, thank you. My name is Sabag. I'm currently in my first year of Cal Poly Pomona's master's program for planning. I don't use LinkedIn too much. It kind of acts as like it looks very similar to my resume. So I'm just here to see how I can spruce it up a little bit, especially as I look for, the entry-level position. So yeah, thank you for hosting this.
Sounds good. All right. And last, Osvaldo.
Yeah, I was a little late. I don't know what the question was.
It's just an intro to yourself, if you're a student or an alumni.
Oh, so my name is Osvaldo. I'm a second year URP major at Cal Poly Pomona, and still trying to find my way around. I don't know what else to say.
All right, sounds good. No worries. All right, everyone. So we're gonna get going on the presentation. I'm gonna be sharing my screen, and then you guys see the PowerPoint that I have. Is it up? All right, perfect. All right, so thank you all for participating in today's URP Career Development Series. This is our 3rd installment this year. So it's specific on LinkedIn and as it relates to planners and making sure that you have a adequate profile in moving forward in our profession. So first, just a quick intro. As previously stated, I graduated from Cal Poly in 2009. I'm also the planning manager for the city of Azusa. I'm also a planning commissioner and also a beautification committee member. I'm very involved with the college, the EMB Dean's Advisory Council. And my passions in planning are design, public art, and historic preservation. So what is LinkedIn? So I like to think of LinkedIn as a more professional Facebook, you know, and Instagram. You know, it is a social media platform that is designated towards more on the professional realm, but also more importantly, using it as a networking tool. One, to organize yourself better and making sure who, you know, you've connected with in the past and how you can move forward with that. So quickly making sure this is not Facebook, this is not Instagram nor TikTok. So a lot of the stuff that you would post on your standard social media should not be going on LinkedIn. LinkedIn should be more professional, making sure, because it is more publicly seen. And as an employer where, you know, I go out and I hire people, I use LinkedIn as a form of, you know, kind of doing my due diligence and researching a potential candidate. So why it's important to have a LinkedIn profile is basically expanding your network. You know, it's very simple. Every professional you meet should be a contact. You know, when you go to conferences, when you go to trainings and so forth, you know, it's a good way of you keeping that network, but also kind of understanding where people are at, you know, if they move jobs, you know, being in planning, you know, we're in a profession that we touch with a lot of professions, architects, landscape architects, engineers, and so forth. So it's kind of having our tool set, our little toolkit where, hey, we need help with so-and-so, then you can reach out with certain professional and stuff like that. That makes it a lot better. It also just highlights who you are and what you showcase to the world. So part of your profile is what I like to call your network plan. So there's 3 steps to it. There's building your profile on LinkedIn, searching for firms and alumni and network, and lastly, how you communicate with the LinkedIn profile. So we're going to kind of go step by step so you guys have a better idea in how to build your network plan. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to just interject. You know, we're very small that we have that luxury. So first is add a photo. You know, it makes your profile that much more personable when we see a face with the name. Obviously, you have to really consider what type of photo you're going to be uploading. This is not your selfie photo. This is not your photo with your friend. You know, it has to be professional in nature. So always be cognizant of what type of photo you're going to have up. Once you have a photo up, it's 9 times more that people will connect with you because they'll remember. I mean, I've done it myself where I've gone to conferences and then I get requests and I'm like, wait, who is this person? And then I see the picture and I kind of connect it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's from so-and-so. And it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to accept requests and also give requests. So when you guys saw my little bio in the very beginning, that was my photo. You know, if you guys go on the American Planning Association conference, they usually have free headshots that you would go. That's where I got mine. So just be very cognizant of that. The next step is adding a banner image. So as you see on the image here, you have your profile pic, but behind that you would have a banner image. The banner image, the good thing about planning is the way I see your banner image is kind of a representation of your passion. What is your planning passion? If you have, you know, if you're more about environmental justice, if you're more about design, if you have your favorite city, your skyline, you know, you want to put that because that's kind of giving a little personality of who you are. And also it's eye-catching because when someone's going to click on your profile, they're going to remember, oh, so-and-so from, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower or the skyline in Paris and stuff like that. And so that gives that little personality flair to it. The next step, sorry, it's not add banner image. It's supposed to be drafting your compelling summary. So this is really kind of your talking point. So as you continue to brand yourself, you know, I always say, like, what is your 2-minute elevator speech, you know, when you meet someone? And the big thing out of branding is you need to be consistent in what your brand is and what you're pushing forward into the planning world. So whatever your 2-minute elevator speech is should be translated into your summary. You know, something that's concise. You know, if right now, like Karen said, she's, you know, transitioning jobs and so forth, that's her forefront. That's, hey, you know, when someone says, when is reading it, they're gonna know, oh, she's looking for a job, she's pivoting or whatnot. And obviously your summary changes as you progress in your career. You know, my summary is not gonna be the same when I was looking for an entry-level job. Now that I'm in management, and my next step would be, you know, director and so forth. So it does evolve throughout time. So step 4 is detailing your work experience. The great thing about our planning profession is a lot of the stuff that we work on is very project driven, where you're going to have your work experience. You know, you have your general stuff that you do for the organization, the agency, but you should always follow up like, okay, I worked on so-and-so project. The good thing about LinkedIn too is you can include hyperlinks. So if you have a public document, like let's say you worked on a housing element or you worked on a project that's already built, you can add that link to it, add that hyperlink to it. So then people see, okay, he worked on this, and it's a lot more tangible. Because then at that point, that's going to be your selling point. Hopefully once you get an interview. And a lot of the times people just correlate like, oh, so-and-so project in such city. And it makes it that much more appealing to an employer. And then with this, as far as the work experience, for some of the students that might not have, you know, robust work experience, you can tailor the work experience to the project, the coursework that you're taking. So think of the work experience as a skill set, in the sense like if you don't have any work experience yet and you're a student, but you took all these classes in graphic design, that can be a skill set and kind of showcase all the classes you've taken, all the projects that you've done within that. That's a good way of kind of building up the profile. Step 5 would add your education. You know, feel free to add, obviously you're going to have your degrees and so forth, but anything else that's associated with education as far as certificates, any type of specialized training, all of that information is very valuable in order for to have to just increase your profile. You know, even the certificates, they go a long way, especially if they're specialized and they're going to add to your overall accreditation and your overall image. So the anatomy of a well-branded profile is one that we talked about, the background image, engaging, friendly picture, a descriptive headline, you know, your summary, that will be your elevator speech. And then the other thing too is, how do you want people to communicate with you? They can easily communicate with you through LinkedIn. The other thing too is you can put, you know, emails, you can put certain contact information. When putting an email, make sure that whatever email you put on there is a professional email, because that, you know, a lot of people will read that and you got to make sure it's a professional email. And then through that, you can add additional, you can put, if you have a profile for your employer, anything like that, you can add it in a way of contacting you. All right, so moving on to the second part of that network plan is search for firms, alumni, and network. So the other good thing about LinkedIn is you have this search function where, for example, if you're looking for an employer, if you're looking for particular projects, or you're looking for consultants that you want to work with or anything like that, they do have a function where you can search for firms depending on the field itself. You can also look for jobs. So there's different aspects of going about that. So it's just pretty much kind of, in this case, it's, you know, Apple, since Apple's, you know, pretty well known, but you can look up design firms, architectural firms, planning firms, and go about that. And that's all within the search functions of LinkedIn. The next thing is continuing that network. Cal Poly Pomona Urban and Regional Planning does have an alumni network. It's pretty robust. We have over, I want to say 300 alumni that are part of that network itself. So that's something else you can also filter through, is either through the actual network or the school and related fields. All right, and moving on to that third part of the plan is communicating. The LinkedIn profile is, you know, it's just one part. You actually have to use it. You have to be on it. It has to be up to date. You have to have everything on there. And the other good way is following up with either when you go on interviews, when you meet someone, is sending them a message. You know, just acknowledging them. Like, for example, if you were at a conference and you heard a really good speaker and you've engaged with the speaker after the fact, you know, you can send them a message, and then after that, then you can put a request to become their friend, and, you know, include them in your part of your network. You know, that's adding that personal touch to the network, and having LinkedIn as that. And then this is one aspect of it where when you would send an invite, you can add a personal message, and then that way the receiver sees, oh yeah, I met so and so, and then they'll approve it, hopefully. So these are some communication examples that when, you know, if you're like at a job fair, if you're connecting with Cal Poly alumni, or you're connecting with the hiring manager or a recruiter, to kind of give a better idea and how you can be more effective in having a line of communication with either of those. Okay, and these are some messaging tips. You know, be concise and positive, stay professional, use good grammar, practice patience. Meaning sometimes they might not respond, and that's okay. At least you tried, and you know, because that's all you can do at one point. But just being consistent. You know, sometimes, you know, where I've been on LinkedIn, I get messages and, you know, they're really thoughtful. People are saying, oh, thank you, I saw on so-and-so and stuff like that. And sometimes we forget the little things that are what resonate with people. Like with me, that's the biggest thing. When people say, you know, thank you, it's so minimal, but sometimes in this world, we forget the little things in life. So now that's kind of your toolkit as far as having your LinkedIn and all the necessary information on there. And that's how it kind of leads to your networking and making sure you have professional posts, you add your volunteer activities, education, certifications, you have a picture, and you use it and you message people. So at this point, I do want to open it up to Q&A, and any questions that you guys might have, we can kind of bounce things off, and I can give a little feedback on my personal experience using LinkedIn. Gina?
As a hearing officer, I've had project proponents actually after a hearing or once they find that I'm the hearing officer, they've asked to join my LinkedIn network. And I don't know what you think about that. I've felt like it's not appropriate for me to have applicants or appellants on some of the cases that I'm hearing on appeal asked to join my LinkedIn network. So is there a limit on who you should invite in, join into your network with?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. And I would strongly advise, if you have an active project, I would not approve them, because you know, it puts you in a whole different category and stuff like that. I have had kind of after the fact, like particular consultant that then later kind of requested me, and we worked on other stuff. Then once a project is done and stuff like that, then, you know, it's a different, especially when you're having not applicants, but any proponents, any residents, it's a little, yeah, I mean, if there's really no connection, my thing is, like, if I know you or there's a connection, then I'll approve you outside of the project scope. And stuff like that. I mean, there has to be, I have to know you. I don't just randomly accept people that I don't know. So that's the other thing too, is there has to be some connection. And this is part of you extending out the messages, and it has to be mutual. Because if not, then it makes me think, then what is this person wanting to be in my profile?
But even with applicants after a project's over, in my position, or even with consultants, the public, the community will often feel like, and I've been, you know, the public has mentioned things like, well, you're in bed with the developer, or so even if it's after the fact, I'm wondering what you think about someone who's a known permit expediter or project applicant who may ask to join it because they could come before you again.
Yeah, then at that point, you know, make a personal choice, but also like being real with like, what's the point of even adding them? If you already know who they are, you already, you know, there's really no reason to even have that connection. Also, the people that are in my network, they're there for a reason, in the sense that I've interacted with them. I can see them as a resource and stuff like that. If this particular applicant, there's really not much to it in the sense where they're just an applicant, there would be really no cause. You know, I think the one consultant that I've approved is I worked on various projects that we've actually kind of created a relationship throughout the years and stuff like that. So
that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? So do you guys actively use LinkedIn? I'm sorry, who was that? Is that one? Someone.
I wanted to, I guess, add a comment, not so much a question, but I don't know if it's available to alumni, but I know students currently have access to the LinkedIn Learning, and they can take courses. Quite honestly, I haven't had the time to take one yet, but I'm hoping to do one over the summer. And I know you can also take quizzes to sort of certify. I know you mentioned certifications, so LinkedIn has those quizzes where you can sort of show off and say, hey, I know this, I passed the LinkedIn quiz. So I just wanted to add that. I know one or two of us are students in here. I hope it's available to alumni too.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and I mean, Salah does bring up a good point. I mean, I think just like any other social media platform, they go past the just networking aspect, and yeah, and I think they also offer certifications on certain things. I'm not sure if they're very specific to the planning field, but it's definitely something worthwhile in looking into and seeing that. And I think the biggest thing is just put yourself out there. You know, if you're comfortable with putting yourself out there, like Gina said, like people are gonna talk, so might as well get ahead of it and you present the image. That's my biggest thing, is you presenting your image, so you know, people don't speculate and people don't assume and stuff like that, because you're putting information out there. Because I know with myself, you know, and I'm guilty too, that sometimes I haven't updated my profile as frequent as I should. But for the most part, it's on there. You know, it's just right now work is we have a lot of work right now, and you know, the planning world is, you know, with the housing crisis and everything going on, it's just like if it's not one thing, it's another.
I had a question for Gina and Manny. Sometimes I work with a lot of students, and sometimes I ask them, or and other alumni on the call, how welcome are you for students? I always encourage students to reach out to professionals in the field to have those career conversations, just to get insights about the field and just tips and recommendations. So how welcoming are you guys to accept students to be a part of your network, or to have some of those open conversations if they want more information about the profession, to learn a little bit more, and accepting them? You guys encourage it, or is it something that you could consider?
Absolutely. I'm extremely welcoming for any student who has questions or just wants to know about the planning and the difference between planning in different jurisdictions or different kinds of planning, because they don't really know. I didn't know when I first started working many years ago. So to give them a little encouragement and a little direction and a little information, I would have appreciated it. So I'm more than happy to speak to students at any time and welcome them into my network.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina.
I completely agree, but just always remember, if you're gonna send that request, add us message, you know, make it more personable, you know, and stuff like that, because at least on my end, it goes to show the student is really wanting to engage versus just to get into, oh, I have another friend on LinkedIn or whatnot. And not only that, but that will give me, okay, then, hey, they're investing the time. All right, you know, let's set something up, let's discuss. But more importantly, it also puts a little responsibility on the student to practice their networking, practice their 2-minute elevator speech and stuff like that. Because I remember when I was a student, you know, I was so shy, I was like, you know, and everything, and throughout time, you get better at it, and, you know, it becomes nature to you.
Great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Great responses.
Anything else? Any other questions? Anything else revolved around LinkedIn, or if not, also the URP alumni chapter, all the stuff that we're working on. We are working on a URP Career Day. We will be launching that information fairly soon. That will be next month. We're hoping for it to be in person at Cal Poly Pomona. This will be our 2nd annual Career Day. So we're very excited because Cap Planning doesn't have a career day. So this will be our very own little career day that Ali's been helping with, and the College of EMB and the Career Center has been helping us spearhead that. So we're very excited for that.
Manny, are most of your alumni in the Southern California area? Because I've relocated to the Midwest now, so I don't know if there's mainly just people there, if the people scattered about.
So we have, I want to know, I'll have to double check if it's still on our College of EMB, but we actually had a heat map that was like the entire globe that showed where all of our alumni from College of EMB were located. So that was a really good tool because you saw the breadth of where we were at. I mean, for the most part, we're Southern California just because of the location and the work product, but we are across the world. Just double check. I'm not sure if it's still on there. I know we got a new website, but Ali, I don't know if you're aware of that through the Career Center. I don't know if they still have that.
I haven't seen that recently. I can double check to see if Sammy might have seen that information on the website. Maybe she has an updated version of that. So we can include
Yeah,
that.
because I think Sammy was one who was working on that. And I think the whole thing was like EMV around the world or something like that.
I'll reach out to her on that because it sounds awesome. A great resource for students to connect with alumni as well as alumni to connect with each other, partners in the field.
Thank you.
If there aren't any more questions, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. And then also all of these events, you'll get the information from either Alumni Affairs, and all of our events are open to alumni as well as students, graduate students at any level. So that Career Day, we invite alumni as well, and practicing alumni in the field. If you wanted to join us for a Career Day or any future events, if you wanted to speak on any events, please let us know, and we'd be happy to connect you with our students. If you want to be a mentor, or if you have any opportunities within your department and you want to share and recruit, we'd be happy to connect you any way we can assist and just establish connections. You know, I think that's key now more than ever. The power of networking is monumental. So I encourage you to use LinkedIn as a tool to expand your network and continue to grow from there. But feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions. But thank everyone for joining today.
Thank you. Thank you, Manny and Allie. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. It was very helpful. Everybody have the luck of the Irish today.
I like your background.
I like that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Antelope Valley, California Poppy Preserve.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Ali, if you can stay on.
Yes, definitely. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.